Test. All right, let's get rid of that light. Everything looks okay, right? Ooh, drink of water first. Howdy, folks. My name's Dave, and I'm a woodturner. I started this channel to become a better demonstrator. Pardon me while I clean this camera lens off there. And a better teacher, and also a better turner. It affords me more time for practice. But I do practice a lot, and that is the secret sauce. But the more I work with other turners when I'm teaching, the more that stuff also gets repeated in my own head. And with the practice, I become a better turner, and I help others become better turners too. And I think that is just I think the wood turning world in general is a pretty cool little world. So I've got a couple of pieces that I want to. I've got a piece of walnut crotchwood that I believe I turned this piece in 2015. It was one of my earliest pieces, and it's really thick and clunky, and I never even signed it, in fact, so I know that it was one of my really early pieces. So I want to rework that. I really think that bringing out that crotchwood feathering will make it really, really pop. It's got a split in it, but it's been sitting around for, well, since about 2015, 2016 probably. And then I was doing some resin work, so I've got another piece. I've got it in my pocket so it doesn't get too cold and shrink. I keep, well, we'll talk about this guy later. I want to get started on this bowl. Slash plat or whatever, bowl form, right? Okay. I think I don't know that this is, I guess I need that light now. I don't know that this is the proper center, so we're going to find out. Let me just mark it. Let's put this camera down here. So I think that that's it, but it may be off a little. But this is more or less a twice turned bowl. We can look at it as a it's a twice turned bowl, that the walls are left intentionally thick to be able to true it up and give it its final shape. Even though that was my skill level at the time, now that it's improved and I happen to find this dude, I'm like, you know what? That would be worth turning again. Huh. Something there doesn't look right. I suspect that that is not the actual center. So I'm gonna have to hunt for the center here. I might have gotten pretty close. So I know it's going to be warped, right? But I do know the two high sides should be about the same distance away from the tool rest. Is what I'm going to go with. And that way, in theory anyway, didn't go far enough. It'll be easier to true up again. And I won't lose as much mass trying to find. Okay, that guy comes way out here. We'll get it here in a second. Let's see. Keep moving it, but I guess I'm just not moving it enough. I'm just going little by little because there's just such a small gap between the two. You know, I can go with that. Let's see, glasses on. Yeah, that looks fairly true. At least even looking at the the old foot there. What I want to do, actually, what I was really thinking about doing was putting this on a glue block and turning it, but you know, I can do a chuck just as well. Let me think here. Once I take it off the glue block, it is going to be some sanding of that CA glue. Oh, I got to show you this too, by the way. On this piece here that I was working on, it's resin and honey locust. Just a little hybrid piece there. I'll talk about that later. This is one of the cool things about turning resin is you can get these really, really, really long strings. But it's only one of the cool things. Well, I say it's one of a few cool things about turning resin. It can get pretty messy, and strings of resin are all over the place. I try to clean up that stuff as I go. And I would donate my shavings to the compost bin at the local seeds, part of the not BLM. Anyway, they're part of land management, and anyway, they've got a compost bin going. One of the guys that works there is a member of the club, turning club here, fellow member, and I would give him my shavings, except they've got plastic, so to speak, in them. So, and most of the time it's, you know, little bits and pieces, but it gets broken up, so I use it for weed control. Except for not the stuff that has plastic in it, though. The stuff that's got plastic in it, though, I throw out. Which is a waste of a lot of really groovy shavings, but and I think I'm really working towards, pardon me just for a moment here. All right, let's see. I need to cover this computer too. Okay, so I definitely need to true up the bottom anyway for a glue block, and I'm going to go ahead and true up the outside while I'm at it. Like I said, it does have a couple of splits. It looks like there was a couple that I filled, and this one just kept opening up way back when. So I put a little bit of epoxy in there, hopefully just to hold it together. I don't expect that I'm going to wind up sanding that away to reveal the natural edge. It's okay if that cracks in there after the piece is done. As far as I'm concerned, it's I just want to be able to expose the grain on this and get a little bit better shape on it. And it's been palling around my house as an occasional whatnot bowl, I guess would be the best way to put it. So I'd like to give it, you know, a little bit more use and a little bit prettier. A little bit prettier. not so clunky looking, man. Wow, those splits really went pretty far. Well, it's a good thing this is just a bullet home kind of deal. I don't know, I may eventually fill this stuff in, maybe with, if I have any left, turquoise. Well, no, I mean, I've got actual turquoise. I guess I'll just crush the stone instead of using that. I bought some, I forget what the heck it's called, but it's, inlays. And I used it a couple times, and it's pretty cool. And I've seen a lot of really, really nice pieces done by folks who use that very artistically. And it does look close to turquoise, but I decided to start crushing my own stone and using epoxy to make those kind of inlays, just because it's the stone. It looks like the real thing because it is. It's a little bit harder to work, but I don't feel really big gaps with stuff like that. That would be a lot of tool sharpening now. Okay, so I gotta come around even more. So I want that general shape on this piece. I'm liking that. That's a little bit better curve on the bottom. See if I got to past all the old wood. Yeah, I did on that cut, so I just got to carry that around. You know, let me add a camera angle here. Oh man, momentarily my brain said, put beads on it. Okay, let's see where we're at with old wood here. And my curve, well, I gotta bring that curve in anyway, so that works. Oh, still got quite a ways to go. Okay, I guess I need to, let's see, let's double check my wall thickness there. That's not bad. Thinnest part is, what, 3/8 of an inch? All right, let's see. How much do I actually take off? A little bit. And what I'm doing is I'm watching the ghosting up here as I turn. I've had enough practice that my body mechanics are used to the tool movements and all that stuff. So I've had enough practice that my neutral body positions, if you will, are where the tool works best on the lathe. It turns out. But anybody can do that. It's not something special. It's just the result of a lot of practice. Just about got that curve just right. Just about. Let's see. I think. I think I need to tuck this in a little bit. Go against the grain there for a second. A little bit of shear stroke in there. Bring this back around. Still got a little bit of vibration. So what that I think is going to mean is that while I was around there, I should straighten that out. That once I get this on the glue block, I'm gonna be out about a 1/16 of an inch, I think. That shouldn't make too much difference on the inside. Gotta make this a little concave. Oh! I think I'll be able to get away with sanding that off really quick. Which means I should probably start the compressor so I can get my little 1.5-inch disc running here. Hey, must be warm enough. No struggle turning on. That's nice. Okay, so that is done. Let's see. Is that... Try to decide. Now I want the bottom of the foot to be. I think that should still be below the outside foot, so not quite. Double check my concave. Okay, that's good. Now I'll finish the outside here. Oh yeah, I gotta replace that valve. I can hear my secondary pressure valve leaking by. So the compressor will be starting up again here shortly. See, I still got about, well, oh, maybe 5/16, so I'm still doing good there. Which is a good thing because I've got to adjust this curve a little bit more. I'll hit it with the sander once I get done with the shear scraping. You can see all the splits there. Really nice feathering though. Who knows? Maybe I'll convert it to a frame for a piece of wall art. But then again, that would hide that really nice frame that I think is in there. In any case, it'd be primarily display piece. Okay, I can use my Grex sander without air on this guy. Definitely gonna need a mask. So mask up really quick. And get some new abrasive. There we go. that for a second. So I got to be careful as I'm coming around where the wings are, I guess you could say they're wings, the natural edge, because there's air passing by there. And so I'm sanding air, so to speak, and I can really induce vibration here if I'm not careful. So just pretty much going with a light touch on the outer edge there. Yeah, that flame is going to pop. I see I could do a little work here. So use some air on this one. Thought there might be a little bit of a hiccup because air is going by and it makes things bounce a little bit. So there's a little line that didn't quite get hit. And I'll check the other side too. Yeah, just a little bit. Here. Oh, nope, that's the grain. Definitely here. Put another fresh piece on there. And go without air again. Yeah, that'll work. Alright. So let's grab this 1.5 disc. And we'll get rid of this tenon. Anyway, however
we get to turn it off when you're doing stuff like this. It's really a matter of choice. You can use a chisel, sand it off, grind it off. It's a lot nicer when you can just turn it off, but won't be able to with this bowl. Alrighty then. Whoops. Whoops. There we go. I'll hit you while I'm at it. There.
Shut that dude off now. Actually, you know, I could have scraped the whole thing and that would have been bad, but that's all right. All right, so I got a good concave surface, and unfortunately, okay, don't need the tailstock. I lost my center, but we'll grab my center finder. Let's move you back a little more there. Time for the mallet. There we go. All right, I'm going to grab my center finder really quick. Grab one of these handy pencils that I have with these handy little magnets I got from some friends of mine. These things are really cool, man. They're little springs on magnets. Just hold your pencil, or I understand Laurent Niclot holds the straw that he uses to blow out his miniature hollow forms in it, right off the end of his banjo. And it turns out that's also a really great place for a pencil most of the time. All these shadows, man, it's making it hard to see a line on walnut using graphite. Let's check the other side just to be sure. For some reason, there it is. There's my square. On smaller pieces, this center finder is pretty much dead on, but on these smaller pieces, I go around 4 times just to get the, because it doesn't hit the center. And I know this is round because I just turned it. All right, so I don't need much. of a divot there. Let me double check my little piece of coat hanger here if that will seat. Nope, so I'm going to grab, let's see, I think a 1/8 inch drill bit will do the trick. Ooh, but not that guy. Yeah, one that's got a tapered end and not. What do they call that? Brad point. I just need to get a little divot in there. Nothing serious. That'll sand away really easy when I hit the bottom again, which I'm going to have to do because of the glue. Let's take this guy out. Okay, let's see. How about this one? Will this one fit okay? That's a little big. This piece of cherry, that'll work. Okay, and I can chuck that one up, I guess. Wait, do I have another faceplate down here? I don't think I do. I think all my faceplates are spoken for. Let me look one more spot. Might be able to steal one from, well, I might have a loose one. Let's see. It would be down here. Let's see. Got some headstock. Adapters. Nope. Okay, so they're all spoken for. Well, I'm just going to grab my drill here, my hammer drill, and we'll swap this over to a faceplate. I could chuck it up, but or can I? Is that okay? So that's, I thought I saw maybe a broken screw in there, and that's why it wasn't on a faceplate, but I switch faceplates too, so I'm gonna say it's that. Now when you use a faceplate, you really should use as many screws as there are holes. Because the faceplate was designed that way. Want to err on the side of safety and not have things fly off the lathe, especially off of a faceplate. It's bad enough when the glue joint doesn't make it. 1, 2, 3. Okay. And you want to make sure that your faceplate is all the way seated flush with your glue block. So make sure all the way around the rim there that there's no gaps. In any case, I suppose if there is, you're going to wind up needing to, and I guess I got to drill that hole now. It didn't have a hole in the center. Need one. So I can put the hammer drill away. And take a real short water break. Hey, while I'm doing that, let's see if we got anybody hanging out in chat yet. The Michigan Viking, one of my VIPs. Hey, man, good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. I have got to figure something out. Although I know that you have not streamed in a while. I've got a couple other people that I watch their streams, and I'm not getting notifications. And I look on the channel, and notifications are set. Blah blah blah. I'm not sure what the heck is happening there, but I'll get it figured out. But anyway, I'm looking forward to your next streams, and still want to stream with you. I think that would be cool. All right, so I'm setting myself up a center point here. Looks like it was already there, but I want to make sure because I got to run. You know, I'm going to double check this because that was actually kind of easy. Okay, there is a hole. It was just clogged up. Yay. All right, so we can double check this. It needs to be a little bit more concave. It's a little flat. Uh-oh. Looks like I accidentally closed my chat dock. Let's bring that back up. There we go. Now I'm all set. So if you're unfamiliar with the glue block, I'll show you how I do it anyway. I can't imagine it would be terribly different among folks. Now, why is my... Okay, chat's up. Just taking a while to load. Okay. I can't imagine it'd be like super different because you gotta have a way to center your glue block. Where is that stubby pencil again? Except I will take it out of the holder. So I've got that little divot I put in there with the 1/8 inch drill bit. I didn't want to hit it with the center punch because then it would crush the fibers and push everything in. I just needed a place to seat the end of this. Now this is just a piece of coat hanger wire. If you can find a piece of metal coat hanger wire, it's stiff enough to, and you know, it's got straight parts on the hanger anyway, but it's stiff enough to be able to use it as a center finder for your glue block. So it's, and it's also very inexpensive that way. Although I'm not, well, I don't know, maybe not nowadays, I don't know. Nowadays everything seems to be plastic. I guess you could find wire hangers at like dry cleaners maybe. Alright, so it looks fairly centered. I want to get as close as I possibly can because I'm done with the outside. We're not doing anything else to it other than cleaning this off when the glue bond is broken. Now I need to grab my glue, and I probably need a little bit of light in here to find it. Let's see, that's just regular super glue. I want my thick stuff, man. Did I use it up already? I guess I did. All right, time to break open a new bottle. Sweet! Let's see, I'll take that guy and that cap. And then the accelerator. Okay. Brand new bottle. Oh, I know what it was. The other stuff got so thick. Older glue. I guess I could have. I don't know. I don't know how well, thinning out. I know they make a thinner for it, and I'm not sure what it is exactly. It might be something as simple as toluene, or I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know how well that will work on older glue. It tends to thicken up. Well, that's interesting. I just pulled this bottle out of the package, and the glue is at right about there, like halfway, and there was a hole in the safety seal. So, interesting. I guess I'll need to bring this up to the club. That's very odd. So perhaps there was a manufacturing problem. All right, let's see. I want something like that. Yeah. Bye-bye cap. Bye-bye cap. Save that foil. Okay, here we go. So the reason for drawing a circle around, I centered this up and then drew a circle around it with the pencil, was to give me a line to follow with the glue. Oh, that's right. They switched to a thicker bottle that's much harder to squeeze. I forgot Starbond did that. Try to keep my sleeve out of the glue. Put a little bit more here. A little bit more here. So I want a pretty good line of glue there. Put my pencil back in its holder so it doesn't fall off the lathe and disappear into the shavings. Okay, so I'm going to set my little coat hanger center finder there on the inside. And I'm going to spray accelerant on the front of my glue block. And then I'll center that piece and let it drop. Press down a little bit, then I want to hit the outside with accelerant. And I'm going to leave this sit for just a little bit. I think they recommend 2 minutes. And that'll go by pretty quick, so let's put the glue and the accelerant away. I'm trying to be more organized and putting things back where I found them. I've got a lot of cleaning I would like to do, and the weather is finally getting to a spot where that will be supported, because there's a lot of things I got to take outside to make room, you know what I mean? Especially from the garage, and waiting for the snow to go. I think it's going to be close to 70 this weekend. It's crazy. March. So it looks pretty close. We'll let it sit for another minute, I think. Paranoid Squatch. Hey! Good evening, sir. How you doing, man? Time to clean that up. Been a minute. At least not as long as it was last time, right? It's only been maybe a week, I guess. I think I sent you a link to some kind of beekeeping thing. That's good that you're hanging. Paranoid Squatch is hanging in there. That's good. That's good to hear. Okay, I think it is also time to change my tool steel to something a bit sharper. So we'll grab this guy. We'll see how interesting this gets. That's my thinnest wall right there. So hopefully, well, I mean, it should be fairly close to round anyway, so hopefully I won't need to take too much off that. But I do want to make it a thinner piece. Yeah, I like that angle. Let's see. Okay, make sure all this is gonna hitting right there. Make sure everything is, whoops. And make sure it's not going to spin off my headstock. See, that's the tall guy right there. So now everything should make it past. Okay, everything's clear. Let's see. Yeah, let's take a cut and see where I'm actually cut. Whoopsie daisy. Ooh, thought I had that tightened. There goes my bowl gouge. Let's try that again. Definitely don't want the tool rest moving about. It could be bad juju. So, all right, stable, stable. Yeah, I should be cutting. Yep. Right into the thicker stuff. That works for me. Oh yeah, I got quite a bit to take out of the bottom. Okay. Oh man, I'm missing chat here. Hold on one second. Paranoid Squatch says, got a call the other day about bees, so we'll give you a call again before long. Interested in your input. Groovy, yeah, do that. Seeing that you are a northern beekeeper and all. uh, yeah, man, but we started up together. Also, I know you aren't an arborist, but might need an opinion on my crabapple tree. Groovy. Why is that facing up there? This needs to face down. Oops, sorry. Yeah, and I do know a fellow veteran who is a forester. Although he's a freelancer now, he's retired, but he still does it. Military vet. And he might know of somebody in your area too. All right, now I need to work on this thickness. Actually, what I need to do is finish out this wall thickness, because the thinner it gets, the more it's going to want to flex to tail stop is getting in my way. You can hear that feathering going right by that tool there. Man, this is dry wood. Okay, so I need to work a little bit more on this wall here in the curve. I'm starting to bring it around. So everywhere I can't see the tool, my eyes shift to where the ghosting is at. So like when I'm up here in this curve and I cannot see the tool, I can see the lines I'm making over here on this side. And that helps me gauge where my cut's going. All right, so I'm going to grab my bull scraper here and finish out this curve because it's a little undercut. See if I got a decent burr on it. Yeah. There we go. That'll do nicely. You just need to sand those sharp edges, but that is really, really nicely cut there. And I don't have much left to do in the bottom. That's a bonus. I didn't pick up the ball gouge because I already had this in my hand. Alright, so right there. Yeah, I got a little bit of a hump in there because I forgot to drop my tool rest. There we go. And then I want to hit that with my scraper. I'm going to put a fresh burr on it though. You see all that flame that's coming out in the underneath of the bowl. That's just a pretty piece of wood. I feel like I get lucky finding this stuff a lot, man. Okay, fresh burr. Paranoid Squatch says, got so much snow this year, the rabbits have been girding the upper branches. Wow. Wow. Dang, man. I know a lot of it was blowing over to your side of the state there. Not that you're that far. You're about an hour, not even that. 45 minutes maybe. But that side of the state, yeah. Whoops. All right. I forgot to raise my tool rest. Make sure everything clears. Okay. Now we get my handles up.
Nice, slow, light passes. Just trying to nail the high points. Pulling some really nice shavings off.
You know, it's still a little thick there. Just a little bit, but it's enough. Let's see, let's match this with the bottom angle. It is raised up.
There we go. That might be getting it. I can get to where I need to with my bowl guide. Of course, the tool rest is too high.
So drop it down. Everything clears. There we go. Now I'll clean that up.
Get that mud out of there. Got to go little by little, taking the high points off because the feathering of the grain is harder wood. I'm just shaving off the top of that so that I don't get vibration. Really light touch.
That way I'm not pushing against the wood, I'm just engaging the burr. So the wood can shave itself, I guess, would be.
Just the timber coming across that sharp burr just shaves itself off. You see the size of the shavings I'm getting, they're very small because of the lightness of the cut that I'm taking.
Got to keep the handle up. Not really.
happy with that spot right there. There we go.
Now I'm okay with it. Okay, so the inside's done. Let's take the faceplate off and take a look at that. I guess you can kind of see that cam there. I can see now that I'm cleaning off this lens again. So maybe it's just, I mean, I know I was fogging it up myself, and of course I'm looking right at the camera with not having the camera put down. So did the rabbits like gird your crabapple tree? Because wherever they, the way I understand it, like if they stripped all the way around, then that branch or whatever is gonna die. I need to hit another light touch on this with the scraper. Let's see, where is that spot? There it is. Good, I got it. And I hope that's not the case. I mean, I don't know where they, you know, if they chewed all the way around or not. I've seen it many times in the wild. But when it's the only food source, I suppose they did, rabbits and mice and whatnot did evolve to, sorry, be able to eat and digest that stuff, right? All right, let's take this guy off. So without any like finish on it, I think once I buff that dude, you know, I might just go, you know what, I'm not going to sand it. It's mostly a utility. I mean, it is going to be a mostly display. You know what, I'll sand what I can when I'm on the lathe here. Let's do that. I'm happy with most of that. You know, actually, I'm happy with most of that. So I will leave it. Decisions. So there's some splits there. That's part of the feathering from the crotch wood there where the two branches came together. There's a big old split there, which at least this end is now epoxied, so hopefully that won't open up anymore, but can never tell. When I sand this, actually I can do that now. I'll do that now. I'll sand the rim of this guy, which means I suppose I need to start up the compressor again. Got my mask. That should be all right. Too far down. Yeah, Pano Squad says, yeah, badly, man. Strip to nothing. It'll take some pics tomorrow. Okay, they need to just prune those branches back. Hopefully they didn't get the much around the main trunk.
Not that I'm an arborist, that's just what I understand. You want to kill a tree, you just gird it. Which, quite frankly, I think is a terrible way to kill a tree. But I don't know all the uses or whatnot behind the reasoning for it, so because I guess you'd be creating standing deadwood, wouldn't you? Alright, I'll let the compressor kick back up. Finish off sanding away that epoxy on the top of that crack. Now the split, you can see here, it's not a continuous, it's a split and then jumps over the split. So, you know, I mean, this bulb's been sitting around since 2016, right? So I don't expect it's going to tear itself apart, but I put some epoxy in there anyway just to have a little bit of extra insurance, I guess you could say. And I've had some pretty good success using 5-minute epoxy for things like this. I still let it go for longer than 5 minutes before I do anything with it. But they might even do, if I remember right, I think they even recommend 24 hours. But within a couple hours, man, you can turn it, sand it a little bit. Alright, then I'll take that off the sander itself. And I'm just getting all these sharp edges by hand. Lost my paper. Just making sure everywhere I feel
the sharp edge that I'm addressing it. So right there. Just need to round over the edge just a little bit. And now I can shut off, no I can't shut off the compressor. Because we're going to break this glue joint and then sand the bottom of the bowl. So I suppose I'll just leave the mask on since I'm going to have to put it on anyway. So this is the groovy thing about using CA glue. It has a really high what's the term? It has a really high radial strength. In other words, trying to break it in parallel with the glue line is very, very, very hard. However, striking it perpendicular to the glue line, it's very easy to separate. I think I'm going to grab a little bit bigger chisel than this guy. Out of the magic chisel drawer. Yeah, well, it's bigger, but alright. Maybe too big. Let's see. No, it'll be fine. So, I just need to take a chisel. And I like to have the bevel towards the bottom of the bowl. I guess it doesn't really matter. You just want to break this glue joint. It usually just takes 1 or 2 wraps. And it just comes apart. But it's very, very stable when it's spinning because of that radial strength that it has. Shear strength. Shear, whatever. Modulus, whatever the... I don't know. And I need to grab my accelerator really quick because I've run into this issue several times over the years, many times actually over the years, where not all of the glue sets on the inside of the glue line, and I want to be able to remove it without making a huge mess. So we'll get it to cure. And then we'll sand that away. Let's see, I'm going to start with the 1.5 inch, dude. I'll get to my glue block in a second. Oh. Definitely want to wear a mask for this. Man, that vapor burns the eye. Woo. Man, getting stuck behind my glasses. Let's see if I can stand to the side. Maybe the vapor won't be so
brutal. Makes it a little bit harder to stand though. Woo, man. Glad I got this mask on. I wouldn't want to be breathing this too. Almost done. Man, my eyes are watering. This is some brutal stuff today. All right. Now this won't be so bad. Think that'll do it. Wow, that was pretty. That was pretty brutal. Ah. Right there, my glasses, my eyes teared up so much. That's never happened before. Ah. I mean, I've had, gotten the vapors from CA glue and all that, and I know enough that I need to be masked up and stuff when I'm sanding it. But I have not experienced that much vapor before. Let's see, where is that? There it is. So be careful when you're using this stuff. Any chemicals, and of course you are ultimately responsible for your own safety. Please err on the side of safety. All right, let's actually bring this guy up. I can turn the compressor off now. And I came over here for an engraver. So that's essentially how a twice turn bowl is done. This one has sat around longer than most do, I believe. I guess it's been 10 years.
do is put some finish on it. And I think I may just go with walnut oil. I don't know. Let's knock down the edges of that a little bit. Okay, so definitely can see the flame in the bowl and a little bit on the outside. Definitely here in the foot. So that's pretty cool, man. Glad I was able to salvage that. That was one of my early bowls. Oh, there's more in chat. Sorry about that. Let's see. Orange Dan 76 came by. Yes. Orange Dan is gifting 1-tier sub to Dave Rice Community. Hey, thanks, Dan. That's awesome. I know TC Schmo would really appreciate that. That's very cool. They have satellite internet, so it's always kind of spotty, but the commercials make it, I think, not as much fun. So that's very cool, man. Thank you for that. Well, thank you on their behalf. I'm sure they will thank you when they get around to it. I want to be able to do that. It's earning some money first. I thought gifting them was free, and it's not, because I was going to do the same thing. Hold on one second. Momentary pause to clear the schnoz. Okay, now I need to address my glue block, and I got to be very, very careful because all these edges are super, super sharp. So it'll slice you open just like a knife. Be careful when you're cleaning this stuff off. And I'm going to do just a simple scrape, and that's going to keep the shavings from flying all over the place, making dust, putting it all into the air. And it's a lot safer to clean this off. And I need to drop my tool rest first. So just a scrape across the front to get rid of the glue on the top surface, and then a scrape on my radius edge to get the glue off of that. And then each time that I do that with the glue block, I will check to make sure they're still concave. And if not, I'll reface it when I need to. Just making sure I've got a rounded edge, because that's, not only do I use it as a glue block, I use it as a friction drive, which I'm not going to do at this point because I was able to just sand off the foot of the bowl. But I would use, I use a combination of a piece of leather and a piece of shelf liner, and I'll put the shelf liner up against the wood, and then the skin side of the leather up against the shelf liner, and that way the flesh side kind of grips the bowl a little bit better than the skin side. You can see where I've used it on the skin side, and it's burnished the leather because it slipped, and it burnished the inside of the bowl too, because that'll do that. So I have taken to putting the flesh side on, and I'm only using as much pressure as I absolutely need to keep the bowl against the headstock and the cushioning there, so that it doesn't wobble and move around and stuff when I'm turning whatever off the bottom or off the side or however, whatever I'm using it for. All right, time for this guy. What are we doing on time? 9:30. That's not bad. I guess I took a little extra time. All right. So with this piece, now these are epoxied together now, but I save, like, when I'm doing an epoxy pour, don't always use all of it because maybe I've made a little bit too much, so I keep plastic solo cups of all sizes around, and that's why this one has this shape. This was inside of a plastic solo cup. This was a hollow form that I was practicing on with the spindle gouge, and I went through the very bottom of that. I actually, it was if you follow that curve around like another 3/4 of an inch, it's where I had gone through. I've since trimmed it to fit this and then glued them together. I hollowed, so this was already hollow. I hollowed this guy out to start with and then epoxied everything together. And now I need to make my outside shape. And once I can do that, let's see, how much smaller can I make that? Let me rethink this process here. Because the inside of this is done. It's now just getting the surface of the outsides to match, and then finishing the outside there. So I'm trying to figure out what is, I can go a little bit smaller than that. Okay, because I want to make this collar a little bit smaller. Hey, that rhymed. Very, very cool. So I'm going to turn this collar down a bit. Not too much, because this is the chuck that I'm working with. I don't want to use the other ones. And I definitely have enough wall thickness, so
So I just want to adjust the size of this collar a little bit. I am going to wind up sanding a little too. A little bit of shear scraping. Which in theory will lessen the amount of sanding I got to do on the outside.
okay, now I want to check, make sure that will still go in the chuck okay. No, I took it just a little too small. Well, isn't that a shame? All right, so I got to come up with another plan. I guess I could use those chucks. I have. I guess it's the only choice I got right now. I can't. Well, I could jam chuck it. Nah. We'll go with this. Darn it, darn it, darn it. I took it just a little too small. That guy likes to spin off too. So somehow or another, I have managed and that's why I'm really glad that winter's over and I can move things out of the shop. I've managed to misplace my key for this guy, which is why I haven't been using it much, because this is the only other way to tighten the jaws down. And I trust it a little bit. I would trust it more if I had the tool and I could really crank down. So I'm going to bring the tailstock up. I know this line here is the inside bottom, where that's at, so that I can determine where my bottom of the hull form needs to be. So set that over there. Should be running true. Okay. So since I'm bringing the tailstock up, and this is resin, give myself a little divot here at the very center so that the point can ride on it, and I don't have to try to drive it into resin. Okay. This way. Bring that guy up. And the live center. Your turn, dude. All right, I got to look down in there. Wasn't sure something was caught. Or there were shavings in there. Didn't seem like it was seating properly. It's not seating properly. So I'll take the flashlight out of the pocket. Yeah, there were shavings down in there. There we go. Alright, so I don't need to do anything else with the inside, so I can actually go ahead and make my shape. And you can see how these strings get wrapped up. It makes a mess. It's cool looking, but it makes a mess. Okay. We pausing every so often to tear all this stuff off because I can't see what's happening. And all this stuff kind of gets in the way too. It hangs up in there, so it makes cutting very difficult. Okay. Now it's a lot of very small shavings. Spaghetti. All right, starting to look all right. That's why I save all these pieces and parts and stuff, man, because I always come up with some way to use them. I'm a wood hoarder, man. I mean, and then once I get the, most of this shape done, I can take away the tailstock and just do work on that nub. In theory, anyway. A little bit of shear scraping on resin. Let's see, let's grab the spindle gouge. Ooh, forgot about that. Plus, if you leave those strings on there, if you see this white ring, that's those streamers getting really hot and starting to melt. Another reason to keep your piece clean when you're working with resin. Okay. Now I can do a little sanding. Actually, I can take that off now. You know what? I think I'm going to use my saw because there is a lip just above the bottom that I can cut away, and then it may have already come off. Nope. Okay. Then I'll have just a little bit to cut away with the gouge, so it'll be less pressure, even less than I thought that I would have to put on there. So I'm not pushing against it so hard, because right now I've got it supported in the jaws, right on the collar, and I don't want to give it so much pressure that I try to break that collar. Now I can do some sanding, which means I'm going to mask up again, especially with resin. Actually, with any of it, I guess you should. I don't always follow my own advice, or at least I haven't always in the past. I'm trying to get better about it, because I don't want to be breathing this stuff in any more than the next guy. Connor Mello shows up. All right, awesome. Sorry, let's see. TC Smo, what's wrong with your chuck? I've misplaced the key for it, and so I'm waiting for the snow to go on so I can drag everything out of this garage, because it needs to be cleaned anyway, and I can find it. So that's what it is. It's just that. Connor Mello, I don't know why, but that was satisfying watching the strings of the resin fly. It is. It's very cool. You missed it. If you go back and watch what you missed on YouTube, you'll see I have a, I don't know, 20, 25 foot string of resin I was showing off in front of the camera. That's one of the nice things about it. There's not a lot of nice things about turning resin, but one of the cool things is that it makes really long streamer shavings. Orange TC Smo, Orange Dan, what does it mean that you gifted me a sub? He gifted you. I guess I'll answer just in case he's not on. He gifted you a subscription, so you got a 1 month subscription to my channel, which means that you don't have to sit through the commercials anymore for the next 30 days. I thought that was very cool. Okay, let's see. Let's clean this off. Again, with this guy, I'm not going to need air. I have to sand up right up on the neck by hand. Because I can't quite get to it. Almost. There's like 1/8 of an inch in there, but I don't need to do a lot of sanding on the honey locust, so that's a saving point. The Michigan Viking. Hi, just stopping by for a moment. No audio. Been lurking most of the night. Well, settling into home. Oh, okay. That's probably why you didn't answer me then, because
That was earlier. So with resin, I am going to go through higher and higher grit. I want to get I want it to be transparent as much as possible, at least as much as I can make it. But hey, man, I appreciate you even lurking in that. I mean, that's still supporting the channel. It's giving me a viewer. I appreciate it. The question I was asking, if you're still on, I don't know. Or it wasn't really a question, it was more an observation that you haven't streamed in a while, which is why I haven't probably gotten notifications from you, but I'm having some issues, it seems, with getting notifications from the folks that I follow. So I'm now starting to, I mean, I double checked and made sure, like all the channels, like the notification button was on and all that, but for some reason, I'm really not getting notifications. I used to get them. I was getting them all the time. You know, every time Dan went on, Orange Dan 76, a couple other guys. Now I'm not getting them. So I don't know if it's something I've done wrong. It's very possible. A setting that I have incorrectly applied. It is, of course, very possible. Ah, yes, the dead zone. The very tip where it's not moving very fast at all. I guess I'll just have to sand that by hand. Oh, shucks. Alright, moving on to 320 here shortly. And actually, while I'm stopped, I'm going to grab, what's that? My little water bottle, because I need to do some wet sanding of this too. Okay. So we're moving on to 320, and I'm grabbing a water bottle. And since I'm grabbing a water bottle, I don't have to wear the mask, man. Because the water will keep the dust down. 10 o'clock, not doing too bad. I was hoping I'd have enough time for 3 projects because I have a really pretty piece of cherry burl that I want to turn. Okay, 220 is there. We need 320. And I think what I have is an order form for Vince's Wooden Wonders. What are you? 320. Ah, good. I couldn't remember if I was out of 320 or not. So there's my 400. Okay, groovy. Man, we're smoking now. All right, get rid of the tool rest and that particular turning tool. Bring the death towel up into action. Capture any water. Okay, that's 320, so that's first. I am still going to wear the safety glasses though, because yeah. All
I don't want anything coming off this lathe and smacking me in the face. And of course, that's probably going to shoot everywhere.
So when I'm sanding resin, especially, well, I tend to wet sand as much as I can. But when I'm doing that, I don't want the slurry to get dry. As here you see it's starting to dry out and it's getting all kind of speckled weirdness on it. You don't want that in there. It has happened to me, gouge up your piece. And then you got to spend more time sanding. Okay, that was 320. That's looking pretty good. Actually, I need to hit... Well, that should be good enough for this bit. There you go. Get rid of that. Go to 400, which is right here. So I'm going to take it, if I have any. I don't know if I have any. I may have to go buy some. 1,000, 1,500, 2,000 grit wet or dry sandpaper. I do like... That's pretty much the only time I'm going past 220 or 320 is that I'm working resin. Oopsie daisy, just squirted myself in the face. Okay, now let's clean that off. Looking pretty good, man. All right, I think this is a good idea. I've got a couple of pieces of, holoforms or whatever that, most of them actually, it's holoforms that either they split and I save the top because I had intentions to do something along these lines with them, at least in my dreams anyway. And I happened to stumble across this piece of honey locust and went, hey man, this would be a good idea, a good time to do that. Why not? Let's broadcast it. Okay. And it's the same thing when I grab my buffing compound, which I use the Novus plastic polishing system, I guess you call it a system. It's two different abrasives and a cleaner that you use, I guess, in between the two. I normally do, and I probably normally do because That's what the instructions said when I first got it. So, there goes my water. Come here, you. Speaking of water, I think I'm going to take a short water break. And I think I might need to hit that again with 600. I'm going to look really quick, but I'm pretty sure all I have is 2,000, and I'm not going to go from 800 to 2,000. So a lot of slurry on that, dude, and you are toast. All right. So I'm going to do that a little bit by hand, I think, especially since as I get around there, I'm getting into the no spin zone or zero velocity zone. Right at the center there. It's not moving very fast at all. There we go. That cleaned it up nicely. So now I'm going to hit it with 800, which is right here. And I better take two because this is a fire grit and it is going to wash out faster than the other ones did. Okay. Although the 600 went pretty quick. Captain OB. Hey, Dave Reif and TC Small and Michigan Viking. How is everyone? Hey, dude. I'm doing fine. I'm assuming that the other fellas are doing fine. May not hear anything from Michigan Viking because he was lurking with no audio while he settles into his new place in space. So I do appreciate for sure the support of even just having the channel running in the background, but might not hear from him. Just saying. Okay, I'm going to hit it one more time with 800, and I need a new piece already. And then I'm ready to hit it with the plastic polish. And where are we looking at? About 10 after 10. So how you doing there, Mike? Everything going okay, I hope? Okay. What was I doing? Oh, yeah. So now I'll go get the plastic polish from inside. It'll polish that right up. Another piece of 800 bites the dust. Hey man, this would be nice too. Now that things are warming up, I can leave some of these things out on the shelves because they're not going to freeze. Had to move all the stuff inside, right? Okay. So this is, oh, that's a bummer. We'll just fold it over 4 times.
So this is a Novus, I guess, system, right? So this is number 2. They're numbered 1, 2, and 3. Number 1 is the cleaner. And I'll use that in between these two. I bought this from Amazon in, I think 2018. It might have been 2017. I can't remember when I first did. I cannot remember when I did my first resin piece. It was a long time ago, but I was looking for a resin polisher, and as I do, I go find one and then I'll buy it, try it out. If I don't like it, I'll get something else. If I do like it, I'll stick with that for a little while. And I haven't even. I like this plastic polish. It's very easy to work with. It does a really, really nice job, in my opinion. Doesn't cost much. And I bought this, what you see here in front of me now, like I said, about like 2016 or 2017 is when I bought this. So I still have, it's lasted me a long time. But I don't do resin piece after resin piece after resin piece either. Slow this way down. Oh, sounds like I have a bearing that needs to be replaced. Fortunately, I have some replacements. Oh, I got too much here, but that's right. This is this stuff you don't want to let get dry either. It starts drying out. Clean it off, because it'll also gall up and gouge your piece, just like any sanding slurry would. Let's see if I probably need to do that again. No, okay, cool. So I'll clean all that off. And move on to the next. That's the heavy scratch remover. And this is the fine scratch remover. And it will freeze if left in a unheated garage over the winter. I imagine it would also freeze in an unheated shed. But typically, when I'm doing resin, like as I said, I'll wet sand up to 2,000 grit. But I don't have any 1,000 or 1,500 as far as I'm aware. And I don't want to skip from 800 to 2,000. But I also know that this plastic polish works still really, really nicely, even just going to a lower grit. Yeah, I'll take that. That'll work. Heck yeah. Whoops, doggone it, I just knocked the water over again. Okay. I'll grab this. At least there's some shavings down here. Nothing's gonna break. And I'll move you over here so I don't knock you off again. Let's see, I need the screwdriver. And they need to hold back the spindle. So I just need to sand a little bit around the rim of that right there. But there's the hollow form. It's a nice shape too. I like that shape. I could have made, well, I could have tucked in a little bit more, but that's still, I had the material. I could have tucked in a little bit more than I did, but that's still a very nice shape. So let's put this away and this away. Grab a piece of 220. Get up there. There you go. And do a little bit of hand sanding. That's 150. There you are. And I can clean my safety glasses too. Hey, and it turns out I have some water right here. Sometimes I'll use, well, if I don't get to clean my glasses quickly enough, if it's just green wood and it's resin, I'll just use water to clean my safety glasses off. But I have also used soap and water, and every once in a while Windex. But if I use Windex, I try to let the glasses just kind of hang out for a while before I put them on my face, just so all that stuff bleeds away. I think I'm going to need to use, let's see, can I get away with that? I think I can. Let's see. I think I'm going to do a little makeshift jam chuck. Yes. Yes, I am. So I'll grab my piece of leather. I may not need to open this anymore. Yeah, I will. So I'm going to open my chuck up so that this sits nicely in the bottom of the chuck. I need to find that key clearly. There we go. That'll work. That'll work just fine. Famous last words. No, trust me, it'll work. I want just enough pressure that I can't really move the piece very easily, but only just that. And that'll let me get right up in here.
So we've popped, I guess that's the term for it, right? We popped the grain. Now I want to resand all of that, staying away from the resin. And that should be good, I would think, maybe. And then once everything's dry, I'm hoping for all the wood to be the same hue. There, no damage to the piece. Just a little extra dust. And I got to get right up here where the live center was up against the rim of the hollow form. Coolness. All right. And then a last little wipe down. And then I will wind up putting some finish on that dude. I'm not going to buff it. I usually don't buff my resins because it scratches the surface. Excuse me. Whew. Sorry about that. We've got some new people in chat. Sorry about that. First time chat, Blue Wood. Hey, Blue Wood. Thanks for tuning in. I really need to find that key while using a screwdriver. Yeah, I'm glad it's not just me sometimes, he says. Yeah, it's not. Also, howdy. Thanks for coming to the channel, man. Waffle Salad TV cheered 100 bits. Thank you very, very much. From an old CTC student. Thanks for stopping by on those days. Hey, man, you're very welcome. I hope that you have opportunities to turn. I'm assuming you graduated. So, yeah, very, very cool, man. Hopefully I got to work with you too. It looks like it did. You're saying thanks for stopping by on those days. Ain't much, but most I can donate at the moment. I appreciate the support very much. Thank you. And thanks for coming out to watch the channel. Let's see, who else do I got here? Anybody? Blue Wood says, bless you, I think. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I had to sneeze. Thank you. And I didn't want to blow it all right into the microphone. So thank you for that.
All right, I'm going to shut the microphone off just for a second. And that was more than a second, I'm aware. Blow the old schnoz. All right, so this guy is going inside. And the next piece I'm going to work, because I got half an hour, man. So I'm going to rough out, I'm going to work on this piece of cherry burl. So we'll go from balance point all the way to finished, or well, not finished, but it'll be roughed out. So let's grab the drive center. I'm going to extend the point on this guy. That's a little too much. And I probably should extend the point on this guy a little bit. That should do, I hope. I'm going to set this guy inside. I'm pleased with the way that came out. That's nice. I've got a couple more, some smaller, that I'm going to do. So I think that's really cool, the way that came out. I'm pleased. Yet another experiment. Maybe I could put it into an Easter basket sometime. That would be pretty cool, actually. Oh, and Easter's coming up. And hey, my neighbor has a child, and I'm fairly sure they celebrate Easter. So maybe it'll make its way over there. All right, so this is an oddly shaped lump of cherry burl. I took off most of the bark. Underneath was just tons of beetle dust. The beetles had gotten to this, and there's still some on there. So it would have been dusty otherwise. But right now, I want to get this guy set up, if I can. Oh, so that's not going to be helpful, is it? You have to tighten down the tailstock so it doesn't shift. So I want to start off on the balance point. That's not going to be it. So let's take a look at this right here. Whoopsie daisy. Well, we know that can come up. And now the other side is shifted. Okay. I may have to actually cut some off of that top there. We'll see. I'm a little too far. Just a skosh more. I probably went too far on that one. Just a little bit. So somewhere in there. There we go. And the reason I do this is so that I can eliminate as much vibration at the get-go as possible. Vibration is, I've heard it called the enemy. It can really hinder your turning. I'm going to say that was the balance point. The more it's vibrating, the more the tool is jumping around, the more it's going, the force is going right into your body. And then you get fatigued, you get frustrated, you don't make good cuts. So I like to start off on the balance point wherever I can. Don't always get to do that with every piece. On the smaller pieces, I'm not so concerned necessarily. A little 4-inch cube, I'm not really all that concerned about vibration on that so much. But a piece like this, I'm definitely going to pay attention because there's a lot of corners and sharp edges, and I don't want this bouncing around. I don't want to get the force of the cuts into my own body. Turns out I'm not getting any younger. And hey, I'm already disabled that, man. We don't need to make it worse. So let's grab the old Steve Center tool rest here. That's definitely going to clear. That is the one that sticks out the most. There we go. So that's going to clear. That's going to clear. Yay! Move that handle out of the way. Okay. You know, I think it might make more sense. I'm going to grab the longer tool rest just because this is a lot of air I'm going to be cutting. And I don't want to come off the tool rest at any point. So this needs to come up a little bit more. That's about right. Let's see, that's the one right there. Nope, it was that one. Okay, that makes it. Everything's secure. We're good to go. Let all the dust fly away. The main goal right now is not necessarily to get a shape, although I guess I could narrow that between centers. That wouldn't be the worst thing. Get a general idea of what this is going to look like. The timber, I mean. So I want to give it a shape. I don't know what I'm going to do here. I may make that like the top of a hollow form. Who knows? I just want to get a general idea of what I'm dealing with. Because I did notice there was some fungus on this burl. And so I'm going to be really, really careful because I've had a couple of these burls fly apart. Because the inside is nothing but a fungus blob. And there's a little bit of fungus right along here. But that's pretty much it. So it might just be along that bark inclusion that's there. I definitely want to get rid of it though. So we're getting some nice voids. We'll see how those pan out.
And again, you can use a roughing gouge. Roughing gouge works perfectly fine. It's definitely a heavier tool. Ooh. Definitely a heavier tool. And so that'll help with some of the vibration too, but a bowl gouge works just fine. Alright, so I'm getting to some really cool stuff here. Let's see about cleaning up this surface and see what we got. I haven't really decided or made any decisions on what this might become. Oh, that's the problem. Like I'm going like, man, I really got to move slow. Yeah, it's because I'm at the slowest speed on my lathe. Probably speed it up even more, but this will do. Oh man, really nice burl. So here now you can see more of the fungus, and this is what I was talking about. Let me grab a little tool here. Where is it? Right there. And this stuff is just, there's nothing to it. It's just fungus. And so I've had a couple of these burls that were filled with fungus on the inside, and once I broke through the hardwood wall and got into that fungus, it just everything just has flown apart on me a couple times. So I'm really paying attention here. I don't know how. It doesn't look like it goes very deep though, so hopefully it's just a surface attack, and another couple of passes will clean that up. I'm going to speed it up some more. That's really, really nice feature. So I'm hoping to keep this in whatever this is going to be. Okay, it doesn't look like it goes very deep, so I'll keep my fingers crossed. Yeah, I think that's going to be the center of the hollow form there. Let's put a little shape down here. Let's see, make sure everything clears. Still not enough to hold on to with the chalk, but that's okay. We just want to shape. Try to figure out what we're going to do with this dude. Yeah, I think this is going to turn into a lovely hollow form. And I can keep that as a void if I want to. There we go.
Blue Wood says, I like the resin finish, looks nice. Thank you. Thank you very much. I should point this camera down. About bedtime for me. Happy turning. Thanks for the tips also. Hey, you're very welcome. As I said, I appreciate you stopping by. I hope you rest well. If you like what you see, please give the channel a follow. I do this every Tuesday and Wednesday night, 8 to 11 Eastern Standard Time. Turning education and fun. Okay. Thinkity think. I really do like the shape that it's coming up with right now. It's going to be a really thick top, though, unless I take it in a little bit more. So we'll do that. One of the nice things about burls is there's no real grain pattern direction, right? So you can cut wherever. Okay, so the fungus is almost gone. It did not go very deep. There's still some stuff I'm going to have to clean up out of there, but a little wire brush, that'll clean that up pretty nice. Pretty nicely. I love turning those beads, man. Okay. That's taking on a fairly nice shape. So you will notice, I don't know if I said this already, my apologies for repeating, although it bears repeating. I do stop the lathe fairly often to assess what's happening with the wood. You can see the ghosting and the lines and stuff while you're turning, but you can't see the grain and what's happening with that. Whether there's any cracks or splits, can't see it. So every so often I'll just stop the lathe, take a look, reassess, change my approach if I need to. Boy, that cleaned that up really nice. Okay. Yeah, that's looking pretty nice. I'm going to change the shape on this a little bit. I think. Trying to think how I would be able to hollow where these knots are, because otherwise I'm going to have a really, really thick top to this. Although, let's see, if I can take it in that way, build a ring right there, then the top would just be somewhere in this area. So that wouldn't be so bad. So if I cut this part down here to, I think, this depth. So that's going to take away, what, 1/4 of an inch, maybe 3/8 of an inch. And then my top, I'm like, this bump will disappear, that bump will disappear. The top will be a little bit more uniform in thickness, so easier to hollow. Although, if I give it a little more shape this way, that will resolve that issue too. You know what? I'm going to knock this off. fairly nice curve, but
I'm cutting a lot of air here. So slow and steady is the key.
yeah, that's looking better actually. And then let's see. All right, so I think I'm zeroing in on an idea here. Now I got to figure out how I'm going to hold it. So I may need to take this down just a little bit more.
Oops. Get out of the cut. Go back and pick it up.
Now that'll be a good hold for the chuck right there. So I can turn this stuff away. Yep.
And then using my spindle gouge that has hopped off the lathe
To the other side, I'll have to go grab that. Not too bad, man. It's only been 2 tools this broadcast that have jumped off the lathe. Oh, that's a skew. That's not what I'm after. Okay, 3 tools. I think. Oh no, it didn't fall off the lathe, but the skew did. So we're back to 2 tools for the broadcast. So I didn't have tons of vibration, making things move around, and the spindle gouge is covered by the death towel.
Let's see, I think I'll just set it right there. On that edge, so it's not sharp.
So now I got a place to hold it in the chuck. And I can further refine this. Although it's looking really, it's not looking too bad, man. I think I might tuck this in a little bit more. We got 10 minutes left.
Something more like that. gotta say, I do like turning cherry. Cherry is nice to turn. Just fun. We'll do a little bit of shear scraping. Really see what that grain looks like. Oh yeah, yeah. I think I'll even tuck it in just a little bit more, but that is very close to the shape that I would like to see. All right, cool. I'm gonna call this one roughed out. Of course, I should have had the camera pointed down again. Sorry about that. Let's clean this off one more time. Okay, so yeah, we'll end it there. I will cut this guy off. Well, no, I won't yet because I want to probably do a little bit more refining the shape of this guy. Move that hose, and this is. So I just need to tuck this in a little bit more right here. Give it more of a vaguely acorn shape. And then do just a little bit of shaping at the top. And I think I've got her, man. And then I can do my borehole right there. I can create a rim if I want to. I don't necessarily have to. So yeah, I think this is going to work out well. It's going to be a pretty piece. So I got a big void here and break out some bark. Lots of splitting going on, but that's the burl and the bark inclusions working against each other. That's, you can still see the fibers of the wood hanging on, so that's pretty strong. And then if I do it right, this will be a void. Maybe not this, but that for sure. So there'll be 2 voids in there, maybe 3 if I don't. Well, this will get tucked in a little bit more. So I think that this bit here, this chainsaw mark, is not going to become a void. So yeah, man. And it still lets me retain some of the outer part of the tree that was just underneath the bark as features. It's going to look really cool. All right, cool. So we're going to call that a wrap for this evening. I'd like to thank you all again for joining me this evening. Woodturning Wednesday. Hanging out while I do something I really enjoy, and that's turning and teaching, creating objects out of whatever I've got on the lathe. Typically, it's wood and resin. I have done some metal spinning on this lathe. I need to practice more of that because that's kind of interesting. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. So I got a little more to learn about that, and I'm hoping to have some pieces that I have that are, a metal wood hybrid or metal resin and wood, probably just metal and wood. Plan is to use copper as much as I can. So thank you again very much for the support for the channel. I appreciate it. Every little bit is a little bit towards the goal of always improving the channel, the equipment maintenance, all that stuff. So I appreciate it very much, and I appreciate you hanging out, even if it's just running in the background with no audio. It's still supporting the channel with it running. So thank you very much. My name again is Dave. I'm a wood turner. I started turning as therapy for PTSD. Found out that I
had a knack for it, but it is still like some of the most amazing therapy I've ever experienced. So it's an endeavor that not only is in the future, near future, I hope near very near future, that this starts to become a very viable career. And then I can take my therapy with me wherever I go, and that's what I'm doing when I'm working with people. Is going through my own therapy too. I think it's great. Um, but I also started this channel to become a better demonstrator and a better teacher. And so I try to distill things down to as simple as possible, always erring on the side of safety and body mechanics and all that stuff because um, I want people who are interested in turning and the people that I teach to be able to do it for as long as they want, which means that they're not getting beat up. So I show up, I show all those things that you need to do, like starting off between centers, getting rid of all the vibrational issues, learning your ABCs, anchor bevel cut, practicing the form, turning. The secret sauce is practice. But getting proper instruction first is key, and then properly practicing after that will build the muscle memory and increase your enjoyment of the turning. And this is like one of those things that it's almost instant gratification is assuaged, so to speak, because in a very very short amount of time. Like you just saw, I took a lump of wood. Now it's got a basic shape. I could travel on from here very quickly and perhaps have this piece done in 3 hours, completely finished. Perhaps in 3 hours, ready for a surface finish. Everything else ready to go. Um, but I mean, it resolves those instant gratification little yanas that we have as human beings. So I think it fills a lot of niches in it, and I've had several veterans also tell me that they find it to be great therapy. People who are not veterans that I've talked to who use it for the same reason, it's great. So I'm doing my best to pass on the word. Again, one of the reasons why I started this channel. To get more of that word out there, man, and try to get more people involved in art as therapy. More particular in my case, turning it as therapy because I'm a turner, or beekeeping as therapy because I'm also a beekeeper. But I want to keep doing this myself as much as I can and not beat myself up. And having the support of the community out there is really, really awesome. It's been some work, and I've got a lot of work to do to improve the channel. But every little bit of support that I have goes right into the channel. Everything that I can do to make it, uh, I don't know, more professional, maybe. I don't know, more enjoyable, more camera angles, something. I don't know, but I'm always trying to improve in it. The broadcast itself. So thank you. I hope that you stay friendly. I hope that I get to see you in chat here next Tuesday when I start up again at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I turn our broadcast right now every Tuesday and Wednesday evening. I am going to be adding some more dates in the future, more weekdays in the future, but right now I am still working on what those dates are going to be. So I hope to see you in chat again. Thank you again very much, everybody, for supporting this channel, and I hope you all take care. Good night.